Much like his fantasy counterpart, Be'lakor is the first of the demon princes in the 40k universe. Wielder of the Blade of Shadows and debatably the one true champion of Chaos Undivided. He leads a great war host of his own called the Disciples of Be'lakor, including knights formerly of House Raven, now known as House Korvax. And yet, despite all of his accomplishments, Be'lakor seems to be more comfortable living in the shadows these days, using the inquisitiveness of a tech priest named Kyber to erase his history from the galaxy, and allowing himself to be seen as nothing more than the shadow of Abaddon the Deapoiler, the new plaything of all four of the Chaos Gods. It seems as though this ancient being is simply biding his time, waiting for his moment to reclaim his lost glory. Or perhaps, much like his fantasy counterpart, he is doomed to live in the shadow of a greater champion. If there is one thing we know for sure about Be'lakor is that he is ancient, older than the entirety of the human race. Perhaps he was an Eldar psyker during the age of their empire's decline, an overly ambitious traveler of the warp. Perhaps he was a Necrontyr seeking out greater gods than the Satan. Perhaps he was an old one who fell to chaos. The fact of the matter is we will never know for sure. Even the legendary demon hunters and keepers of forbidden knowledge known as the Grey Knights do not know where this enemy comes from, implying that this most ancient of the demon princes has covered his tracks well. There is a tech priest of the cult Mechanicus by the name of Kyber who has made it his life's goal to uncover the mysteries of Be'lakor. However, he has unwittingly become the demon's pawn, inadvertently returning many of Be'lakor's lost artifacts to him, increasing his power once more. On many a dead world he has come across statues carved in the prince's likeness, totems carved from the bones of dead psykers, implying that there was once a time where Be'lakor ruled, draining the life from his subjects and moving on to a new planet when he was finished. He was once the favorite of four gods, manipulating their rivalries to gain greater power. It should also be noted that Be'lakor was suspiciously absent during the Horus Heresy. It's possible that he was leading some splinter fleet in the fringes of the Imperium. However, it is equally possible he was told to sit that one out by the Chaos Gods. It is believed that Be'lakor has participated in all 13 of Abaddon's Black Crusades, sometimes even leading warbands of the Black Legion into battle. It was Be'lakor who swayed the demon prince of Khorne Talaman to join the Third Black Crusade, and it was Be'lakor who warned Abaddon of the betrayal of Durkath the Sightless and his warband the Sons of the Eye, leading to the destruction of both. While this might appear genuinely helpful on the surface, it is clear that Be'lakor had ulterior motives, and the loss of the Sons of the Eye weakened the Sixth Black Crusade greatly. And it was a failed invasion of Terra by Be'lakor and his disciples that caused the Phalanx to appear at Cadia's defense. The prince and his forces had attempted to seize the fortress monastery of the Imperial Fists, forcing its valiant defenders to jump into the warp, preventing the demon hordes and traitor Astartes from setting foot on Holy Terra once more, ultimately costing Abaddon one of his black stone fortresses. And while Cadia still fell, it was not without great cost to the War Master. Following this supposed failure was Be'lakor's greatest act of triumph, dealing a near-fatal blow to one of the mightiest noble houses in all of the Imperium, and increasing the power of his disciples greatly. There was a time when House Raven was recognized as the mightiest of the knightly houses in all of the Imperium, boasting deep allegiances to both the Forge World Metallica and the Forge World's Titanic Legion. They possessed the largest fleet of knights of any noble family, their fortress on their homeworld of Colossi being viewed as the second most guarded place in the entirety of the Imperium, standing second only to the Palace of Holy Terra. And it was not from outside forces that this noble family met their greatest defeat. It was from the corruption of their own family members. The jealous members of House Raven's garrisoning force corrupted by the lies of the demon prince Bellicor. The now corrupted knights rising up against their loyalist brothers and slaughtering them to the man, with the final nail in the coffin being Bellicor taking the entire planet out of the system and relocating it to the much more chaotic Imperium Nihilus, renaming the world Corvosi and his new followers House Corvax. What remains of House Raven have declared themselves a crusading house, and sworn an oath of vengeance against the demon prince and their traitor brethren. The disciples of Bellicor are a large and diverse force of chaos undivided. Demons of Khorne, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and Nurgle all follow him, as does more than one warband descended from the Wordbearers Legion. And with the recent addition of House Corvax, Bellicor's disciples are truly a force to be reckoned with. However, they are no blunt instrument of a warband. They are a scalpel, a surgical instrument that only attacks without warning, and deals crippling blows with each attack. However, what Bellicor mistakes for free will may very well be the meddling of the Chaos Gods, keeping this prince of theirs well stocked in case they need a reserve champion. Or perhaps allowing him to continue to grow in power to prevent Abaddon from growing complacent with his victory over the Cadians. Regardless, the disciples of Bellicor are and will remain a threat in the Imperium Nihilus for many years to come. On a personal level, I would very much like to see Bellicor risen as a legitimate threat in 40k moving forward. That being said, his greatest strengths lie outside of the battlefield. While his sword can cleave through any armor, and is nearly untraceable to the human eye when in motion, Bellicor's greatest strength is his silver tongue and a more subtle corruption, as proven with House Corvax, tugging at the insecurities of mortals and making them fall to chaos. I also think it's pretty interesting to look at him as an individual character as well, since he is very much a slave to the warp but is in complete denial about that. He believes that despite all of the gifts he has accepted from the gods of chaos, he still retains some level of freedom. And as we all know, that's just not how demonhood works. Once the chaos gods have sunk their claws into you, they never let go. While they may not necessarily care whether you live or die, they definitely care if you can be a threat to them at some point. And there is always the potential that someone as crafty and intelligent as Bellicor could one day raise to be a genuine threat, perhaps even a fifth chaos god in his own right. But that's just me praising the character from an lore perspective. On a meta level, there is no way GW is ever going to raise Bellicor to that kind of status. They're way more interested in bringing back the Primarchs than doing anything interesting with the demons right now. It's a shame, but at this point it is what it is. With that, I'd like to say happy Halloween and thanks for giving this video a watch. I wanted to get something chaos related done before the holiday and hope this is a good surprise for you guys. Thanks again for watching and have a good one.